Okay. All right. So I was talking about two activities which happens in the past. In that two activities, which is the first activity, with that activity, we will use perfect tense. Okay. And the second activity, we will use simple past. I'll tell you again, please feed it in your brain. If you are talking about a sentence, already two actions happened in the past. Within the two actions, which one is the first? Uske saath hum perfect tense, past perfect karenge. And with the second activity, we will use simple past. In this sentence, the film शुरू किया, हम उधर पहुंचने के समय already शुरू किया. So film शुरू किया, that is the first activity among those two. The film had started when we arrived. Okay, the film had started when we arrived. Okay.
Excuse me, ma'am, Kuber here.
Yeah.
Ma'am, was started क्यों नहीं आएगा ma'am?
Because perfect film was started when we arrived. We will not say it in that ways because it is passive voice. Was started. We usually say it in active voice.
Okay, ma'am.
When two past actions are mentioned in active voice, with the first action, perfect tense should be there. That is the correct English method. Okay? Whenever two actions are mentioned, with the initial action, let it be perfect tense. All right?
Okay,
we usually omit this perfect tenses a lot in our communication. That is when our English looks not very standard English. Whenever you know the correct usage of perfect tenses, your English sounds beautiful. But most of the people in every places, they will just wrap it up with past tenses, just like this. We are very comfortable saying was all the time. But has and have ka usage, if you know it in the right way, your language can be improved. Yeah, moving on to the next one. I dashed for 10 minutes before the bus came. Hey, dekho, similar case, huh? Similar case. I expect you to say the answer. Either be two actions. Say, मैंने 10 मिनट वेट किया बस आने से पहले. So what is the first activity? मैंने वेट किया बस आया. What is the first activity? मैंने 10 मिनट तक वेट किया. कब? बस आने के पहले. So मैंने वेट किया, that is the first activity among the two activities. So उसके साथ कौन सा tense होना है? Perfect tense.
Perfect tense.
I have waited for 10 minutes before the bus came. I had waited or have waited. That depends on the circumstance. Dono correct. It has to be perfect tense. That's it. Okay, I has nahi aayega. I have waited or I had waited for 10 minutes before the bus came. Okay, next one. I will remember what you told me. Change into future perfect tense. Very easy. Pranav Darkunde, try saying the answer. I will remember what you told me.
I will have remembered what you told me.
Excellent. I will have remembered what you told me. Next one. I dash play for an hour. Use future continuous tense. Srinath. Srinath Mali.
I shall be playing for 1 hour.
I will. Okay, I shall will nahi hai. I will. Then future hai to will chahiye. Continuous ke liye kya chahiye beta? ING form of the verb. I will playing for an hour. We will not say like that. Okay. So I will. Beech mein kaun chahiye? Will and ING ke beech mein.
Bin.
Just Srinath will answer. Baki others can be. Yes, Srinath, tell me.
Bin.
Okay, I will be playing for an hour. Okay. Moving on to the next. Prithvi Raj. Why is he unmute? Okay. we will move on with the classification of the verb. So from here, I'll just give you a heads up and then we will go on with this. Yeah. Listen carefully. Now, moving on a little bit towards your SPI exam point of view and syllabus. Okay. In your SPI exam, you know there is 2 sections, maths and GAT, and in that GAT comes English for 25 marks. So that kind of questions we'll be revising. In that 25 marks, what all types of questions will come? I'll just give you a general idea. Synonyms, antonyms, spotting the errors, completing the sentence with the right word. These are the types of question that comes. Now, synonyms and antonyms is something that you have to learn, meaning of certain words, opposite of certain words, that you have to learn by your own. Especially, we are attending a crash course. I cannot make you sit and learn the, all the meanings of the verbs, that you have to learn it on your own. But in order to do the spotting the errors part, grammatical correction, वो area अच्छा सा clear करने के लिए, that's why we are giving you basic grammar classes. Okay. So why we are learning about verb, why we are learning about tenses, there are certain rules associated with how to use. For example, that was a small rule. When 2 actions comes in past, one of the actions will go in perfect tense. These kind of rules are associated with all the verb forms. So slowly we will learn the rules. So ye rules apply karke, you can figure out the section called spot the errors. Spot the errors are purely based on grammar. So that will be my main focus, and other notes for synonyms and antonyms, like a question bank, you can get the materials after this crash session. Okay, so that is the reason why we are learning more about verbs and the rules associated with the verbs. So without knowing, maybe some of you must be knowing all these things in your basic classes, but without knowing a basic grammatical understanding about verbs and tenses, it is impossible to learn the remaining parts of grammar. All right, that's why you've been exposed to a basic things in verb. All right, so again, we are going in detail with verb. So it's like first steps we are taking towards our SPI model exam, especially spotting the errors part. For that, we need to know more about verb. So let's see the classification of verbs. Verbs are main verbs. They are the action verbs. It can be divided into transitive and intransitive verbs. Transitive verb, it's a verb which can take a direct object. She played, transitive verb hai, kyo? Because it can take a direct object. She played what? Pushte to answer hai. She played what? Piano. So transitive verb are verbs which can take a direct object. So play verb है, उतना आपको जानता है. वो play के लिए एक object रहते हैं तो वो play is transitive verbs. ये देखो दूसरा एक example देखो. John smiled. उसके बाद कुछ नहीं है. John ने smile किया. Okay, otherwise दूसरा एक sentence. Nothing happened. So either smiled, happened, these all are known as intransitive verb. क्यों? वो verb के आगे कुछ object नहीं है. It doesn't take an object for receiving that activity. So such verbs are known as intransitive verbs. There is also one more type of verb in the main verb, linking verbs. I hope you have learned it or not learned it in school. Things like appeared, grew, seems, these kind of all verbs are linking verbs. That's a special category. A face appeared at the window. Instead of objects, these verbs are followed by phrases which gives an information about the subject, which gives extra information about the subject. Linking verbs क्या करता है? Objects के तरह नहीं lead करते हैं. Rather, it will be followed by phrases. A face appeared window nahi hai, at the window. So at the window is a phrase. So whenever a verb is followed onto a phrase, that verb is known as linking verb. Okay. And that extra information will be about the subject. So just yaad mein rakho, you don't have to learn it by heart and all, but to start by step, you just have to understand. First one is main verb. Second one is auxiliary verb. उसमें primary auxiliary verbs है, modal auxiliary verbs है. Okay, so इतना आप याद में रखना है. Classification of the verbs में क्या क्या है? Main verbs है. Main verbs के अंदर 3 है, transitive verb, intransitive verb and linking verbs. उसके बाद auxiliary verbs है. Auxiliary verb 2 प्रकार है, primary auxiliary verb और modal auxiliary verb. Okay, please take it down fast. Okay, somebody is asking me about sharing the notes. I will not be sharing any of my materials for now because in this class, most of the students are attending it as a trial basis and all those things. So for such a class, I will not be sharing the notes. You are not our permanent students. But if you stay on the track and for the students who are interested, I'll talk with the academy and I'll share my notes. But I prefer you to write while doing the lecture. Okay, the course material, the sample, everything will be sent to you by the end of the session. Not now. For daily notes, please write it. Okay, please finish it up fast. Otherwise, take a screenshot. Om, where are you writing better? Which line are you writing?
Last point, ma'am.
Okay, good. And complete it. Those who will not finish, move on to the, take a screenshot, please, fast. And start writing the next slide, please. So main verbs में 3 types हो गया. Next is the auxiliary verbs. Excuse me. Auxiliary verbs can be divided into 2, that is primary auxiliary verbs and modal auxiliary verbs. So B family में ये सब. B family का is, are, was, were. Have family का has, have, had. Do family ka do, does, did, shall and will. These all are called as primary auxiliary verbs. Now, what do you mean by auxiliary? Auxiliary word meaning is helping. Okay, so for your understanding, I will just a second. I will just mention it as helping verbs also. Okay, take that part. Please take it down fast. Srinath, are you writing better?
Yes, ma'am.
Similarly, there are modal auxiliary verbs. Which mode में subject हो जाता है? Is it a possibility? It is a chance? It is a rule or a permission? So वो mode क्या है? वो help करने के लिए ऐसे verbs हम use करेंगे. कौन से verbs? Can, could, may, might, should, used to, need to, dare to. और इसके साथ साथ will, shall. Will, shall is already mentioned in primary auxiliary verbs. Sometimes it is used as modal as well. Would, W-O-U-L-D, you can add it here. Could के साथ would भी हो जाता है, W-O-U-L-D. Okay, is it done? Everyone? Om Suryavanshi, is it done better?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay, so that are the different classification of the verbs. The remaining part, the rules of the verbs, we will start with by tomorrow. So that's it for today. Bye. Have a nice evening. Good night. God bless you. Bye-bye.
Bye, ma'am.
Okay, students, you have to stay or rejoin the meeting immediately. I will open this session for you all for the chemistry lecture. Please rejoin immediately. I will open this session for the chemistry lecture. Please rejoin immediately.